Welcome dear students. Today we will study Social Studies subject for grade 4. In chapter 1 we studied about what is history, what are the periods of history, that is the ancient period, medieval period and the modern period. But how do we come to know about these periods, about the past, if we do not have some proof or evidence about it? Only if we have any proof, evidence or any information about the past, then only we can come to know about it. For us to understand history, it is very much necessary that we have some proofs or some evidences about the past. These proofs, evidences or the materials through which we come to know about history are sources of history. I repeat, the proofs, evidences or the materials through which we come to know about history are sources of history. So our topic for today is sources of history. Sources of history. Sources of history are classified into two categories. The first one is archaeological sources, whereas the second is literary sources. Sources of history are classified into two categories, that is the archaeological sources and the literary sources. Archaeological sources include all those things built or created by people in the past. I repeat, archaeological sources include all those things built or created by people in the past, like monuments, coins, tools, pottery, etc. If we see and examine them, we are able to understand about the past. But are we able to examine them if we see them? No. But there are some special people who study these remains. And these people who study these remains are known as archaeologists. I repeat, people who study the remains of the past are known as archaeologists, and the study of the past by examining the material remains is called archaeology, and the study of the past is called archaeology. People like us, we cannot study these remains as we are not expert in that field. But archaeologists are people who are expert in that field, and so they are able to study the remains. Now, for them to study these remains, it is important that they have these remains with them, right? Then only they can study about it. Sometimes these remains are available, but sometimes it is very difficult because some remains are under the ground. They are inside the ground, so they have to dig the ground in order to find out these remains. Now, while digging the ground, they just cannot dig it by a machine or any digging machine, but they have to dig it carefully. Why? Because if care is not taken during the digging process, it might destroy these remains. So in order to get these remains, they have to dig the ground very carefully so that these remains are not destroyed and damaged during the process of digging. I repeat, they have to do the digging work very carefully. And the process of digging the ground carefully to unearth the sources is called excavation. I repeat, the process of digging the ground carefully to unearth the sources is called excavation. Sources like monuments, inscriptions and artifacts are all included in archaeological sources. What all are included in archaeological sources? We have monuments, inscriptions and artifacts. We will study about them in detail one by one. Archaeological sources are the sources specially which are useful to study for the period of time for which there were no written records. There were times when there were no written records. So during the study of this period, these archaeological sources are very much helpful. Now we will study about them one by one in detail. First we will see about monuments. First we will see about monuments. Now, what are monuments? Monuments are old buildings. They are old buildings or structures which help us to understand about the past. These are old buildings or structures which help us to understand the history of the past. These can be forts, palaces, caves and so on, many other things. You might have visited many of the forts, caves like the Ajanta-Ellora caves, Elephanta caves. All these are examples of monuments. These help us to know about the life of the people, how they lived during that particular period of time, religious practices, religious beliefs of that particular time. For example, if we see the Sun Temple at Konark in Odisha, it gives us all the details of the architecture and engineering of the 13th century in India. Now children, 13th century, 1 century is equal to 100 years. So 13th century is how many years? 1300 years. So the Sun Temple gives us the details of the year 1300. Then we will see one more example, like to which all of you might be familiar. We will take the example of Taj Mahal. I am sure you all might be knowing this famous monument and many of you might have visited it too, right? If we see the Taj Mahal was built in the 16th century. Taj Mahal was built in the 16th century, means 300 years after the Sun Temple. How many years? 300 years after the Sun Temple. Through this, we get the details of the architectural styles of the Mughal period. After seeing this monument, we get the details of the Mughal period. Now, we move on to the next archaeological sources, that is inscriptions. Now we will see about inscriptions. What are inscriptions? Inscriptions are nothing other than writings and images. Some images or writings that are carved on hard surfaces. I repeat, inscriptions are the writings and images carved on hard surfaces like walls, stones, metals, pillars, copper plates, or any other hard material. Many of you might have seen some inscriptions while visiting some historical places. Some inscriptions are written. We are not able to understand, but all those are understood by special people, as we studied earlier. For example, now we get a lot of information about King Ashoka through the inscription. Now the inscription which was written during the time of King Ashoka. Through that we come to know about a lot of information about King Ashoka. Similarly, if an inscription was written during any other Mughal period, so we would come to know about that particular period. So inscriptions are very much helpful in providing us with a lot of information. And the study of these inscriptions is known as epigraphy. Study of inscriptions is known as epigraphy. Study of inscriptions is known as epigraphy. The next archaeological sources we will see about artifacts. Now, what are artifacts? Artifacts are man-made objects that were made and which were used in the earlier times. Artifacts included pottery, tools, jewelry, which the people in those days used, seals, coins, etc. And these artifacts give us a lot of information about that time. See children, here you have one coin. Some inscriptions are there on it. Some markings are there. I will show this to you afterwards. Now, many artifacts like pots and toys were found from the sites of the Indus Valley civilization, and these artifacts were under the ground. So under the ground, children, just now we studied that what is the process of digging called? What is the process of digging the ground called? Do you remember? The process of digging the ground carefully is called excavation, and they had to dig the ground carefully to find out these artifacts, and these artifacts were very much helpful in providing a lot of information, because it is only with the help of these artifacts that the life of the people, the religion, and the animals which lived during that period of time were understood, and some information could be got. Now next we will see about coins.